So I watched Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. Now I was really excited for this movie. It dropped on Netflix. And I love the original Beverly Hills Cop movie. I enjoyed the second one. It's not as good as the first one personally. And Beverly Hills Cop 3, I think, is just bad. Overall, I enjoyed this movie. It's not great. Like, I would put up there with the second one, where it's an enjoyable sequel, but not as good as the original. I only saw with the positives. I think Eddie Murphy looks like I really enjoyed Eddie Murphy in this movie. It was great to come back to that character. So like I love that character, and you can tell he's just having fun in this movie. And this to me is a much better legacy sequel than Coming to America 2, which I thought was an awful sequel to how great the original was. This one is an enjoyable sequel. I feel like Eddie Murphy's just having, like I say, he's having fun in this movie. Like you feel it. And I thought overall the Aston was decent in this movie. And there are some funny moments in this movie that I thought was funny, and I loved hearing the music from like the original movie. Even though I do feel like they overplayed it a little bit in this movie. Like there'll be scenes where I'm like, yeah, I'll admit I love hearing that music. It's great to like hear that Beverly Hills Cop theme, but there's also times where I'm like, this is like overdoing it a little bit on the callbacks to the music from the original movie. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, it was great to see him in this movie. I thought he was great in this movie. I actually really enjoyed his character. I thought it was a nice new addition to this movie. It was great to see Tagger, Axel, and Billy again in this movie. Those three original characters. So it was great to see those characters again. I think the plot's okay in this movie. It does just enough to like be an enjoyable Beverly Hills Cop movie. Now, the negatives with this movie is that the actress who played Axel's daughter in this movie was the reason he goes to Beverly Hills Cop because his daughter's in trouble. I wasn't a fan of her character. It's just like in this movie, she falls in that cliche type trope with it, where like she's mad at her dad because he wasn't really there for her, and like for most of the movie, she's just mad at him, and the scenes get tedious. Like I just feel like it's just repeating the same beat over and over again of her being pissed off at Axel, and she just lacks the charm and fun when she's supposed to be like the daughter of Axel, and she just like is just angry at him for most of the movie. And it's like I said, it gets so tedious because it's repeat, and it's a cliche trope, in my opinion. It's a cliche trope where the kid's angry. Like I get it, where a character's like coming from, and then I do like how it ends, but for most of this movie, it's just like every scene ends the same way. It's just so pissed at him, and it just to me, it really didn't make a character all that likable, and it just kind of like I said, it got tedious. And like I said, the plot's okay in this movie. It's like the plot, it doesn't really stand out. This movie doesn't really do anything new in the franchise. This is a very safe movie. Like I would probably compare it to Force Awakens, where it's a safe legacy sequel. Like I enjoy it, I have fun with it, but doesn't really, but it doesn't at the same time do anything new in the franchise. Like the plot, it's okay. It doesn't stand out the plot, doesn't do anything new with the franchise, which I totally understand. I think it was a good idea to kind of play safe to like, but I do hope if they do another one, they like. I hope in the next one they do some new things to kind of change it up a little bit when it comes to the next movie. But I would say that's another negative, that this movie is a bit too safe. And then one of the big things about this movie that I had an issue with is that it was great to see Billy Tega. I think is the name of the character, the one older cop who was partners with Billy in the first two movies. I know his character wasn't in Beverly Hills Cop 3. It was great to see all the characters in the movie together again, but they only have one scene with all three of the characters together, and that's the ending. Like Billy is in the beginning, he gets knocked out when he's telling Axel about the case, and then he comes back up in the third act of the movie. And Tag, he's not really in this movie. He's more in this movie, but you don't see a scene between Tag and Billy until then. And you don't see a scene between Axel, Billy, and Tag all them together until like the last scene. So that's another negative thing with me is like I wanted to see all three of the characters more in this movie together, especially since they still have great chemistry. Even that one scene when you see them all together, I was like, there's still a lot of great chemistry there. Even between Billy and Taggart, there's great chemistry there too. I was just like disappointed in the fact that you don't really get to see all of them together all that much in this movie. Like, I will say this: it ends in a way when you see that final scene of those three together in the car. I'm hoping that means that okay, if you do another one, let's get a story with those three working together again. Like, because I feel like you need to have them more together in this movie. Kevin Bacon, I feel like he was just kind of like he plays a generic dirty cop in this movie. Like it's a corrupted cop. I've seen this type of character before. So as a villain, I found him to be just like a generic, forgettable villain in this movie. He doesn't really like. There's nothing pretty much compelling about his character. It's like, oh, he's a dirty, corrupted cop. I've seen it like 1,000 times in other movies. So that was another negative. So overall, I think this is a fun, safe return to the franchise. Not fantastic, not as good as the original, but at least better than three. So I would recommend this. I would recommend Beverly Hills Cop 4, but like I said, not as good as the original. So that's my thoughts on Beverly Hills Cop 4. Until next time, movie fans.